it's Kevin Petersen, everybody.
What's up? What's up? I just got back from Colorado.
And I'm in Colorado. I was looking for you, but I guess you just run away from me.
I had to get out while the getting was good. You know, there was some. That was last weekend was an exciting time for travel. Let's just call it that.
I believe that. Jesus.
I sat on the tarmac for an hour up in Aspen, and then narrowly made my flight in Denver back to Jacksonville, and I was just like, holy guacamole, this is crazy. So
this is what happens when computers run our lives. Like, I don't think we'll ever know what truly happened, but I just don't think it was some simple software update. But anyway,
no, man, it's freaking. You're a lot younger than I am, but
Whoa! Thank you for saying that.
It's Skynet from the Terminator, baby. This is just how it starts. It's just working out its glitches, and the next thing you know, we're gonna be like, "What? There's a guy who's killing people." Oh my god! Yeah. Hold on, I got to get my hat. Hold on.
Oh.
I know. I came back with some swag. Oh.
Was this in your contract?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had a swag rider. Yeah.
For the internationally known Family Matters, they say you have to wear Jaywalker swag. I get it. It's
no, you wore this hat before, so I just was
know.
I gotta have it.
Sometimes I don't think about what I have on top of my head, but I do love that hat. So I can't say that about every piece of swag I get, but I do love that hat. So anyway, how's life?
Life's good. I don't know if you can hear it right now. We got a pretty heavy thunder and lightning storm going on and pouring rain here in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. But other than that, things are good. I just spent a week in Carbondale at my new employers, the Jaywalker Lodge, which was fantastic. Saw some really wonderful people and got some great stuff going on, and engaging with the families and doing my thing, baby. Doing my thing.
Well, all right. Well, let's get right into our families. We got a couple.
What do you got?
So, I wish I could read all these emails, but I tried. I don't think I'm a good summer upper, but so ultimately, here's what I will say is she opens up with the first sentence, and I'll just throw the first sentence out to you. Kevin, what do you say to someone in a codependent relationship that may or may not know that they're in a codependent relationship? It's just they're refusing to look at it.
Oh my. Okay, so no, I have an answer.
You always have.
Me. I'll make something up. Here's what. So here's what I'm guessing was going on, because this is what happens with me. I get a friend who's constantly calling me to tell me how awful their marriage or their relationship is. And obviously I can see the elements of what's going on. So what I do is just make it super clear. I'm like, well, first of all, if I ain't getting paid, I tend to start with, well, you want friend advice? You want 30 years in recovery advice, or you want therapy advice? Because you got to tell me what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Because you may not want to hear what I have to say, and I don't want things to get uncomfortable or rough. So, if they're like, well, no, I want to know what you have to say. I'm like, okay, you're in a codependent relationship. Sometimes I don't use the word codependent because it freaks them out, but I really don't care. So what I say is, you're accepting unacceptable behavior, and that's because
I like that.
Yeah, well, that's an Al-Anon thing. I'm not going to steal that one.
Okay, that's not a Kevinism.
Well, no, that one. I got that one from the rooms of Al-Anon, and they were real clear that you are the one accepting the unacceptable behavior. And what you're trying to do is focus on that my life will get better if I can change them. And my position is that's not how it works. So, good luck. I hope it works out. But I think what you're going to find is that that's not how this plays. If you want the relationship to change, you have to change. So if you want that help, I am so happy to help you and point you in the right direction. And I know some great therapists and I even know some really great, week-long programs you can do a lot of really deep work and great books and great resources. But, I just so if it's a friend of, like this person's obviously asking for a friend, and that's really what you got to do is you just got to say, hey, if you really want help, I can help you find help. But if you're just looking to vent and piss and moan, I'll give you 5 minutes, but then I'm not going to listen to it anymore. Or here's what I did with one of my closest friends. After years of hearing him vent to me about his girlfriend, I finally was like, you realize she's not the problem. and I was just like, look, man, you gotta step into this, the analogy I love is that every morning you wake up. I don't know if you can hear that, but God is evidently agreeing with me, with the thunder and the lightning. I said every morning you wake up and you open your front door and there's the cart from a roller coaster, and you're choosing to get on. You don't have to get on. And I think that's the hardest part for people that are in a codependent relationship to realize they have a choice. And it's uncomfortable for them because, they're entwined in the relationship and they think that they can fix it by fixing the other person. And what I try to do is help them understand, no, because you've tried and that didn't work. So let's try fixing you. So, and it's end of the answer.
You know what, Kevin? I was going to ask a follow-up question, but then I think God gave me the sign because, honestly, we do not talk about these questions. I keep these questions very private and try to stump Kevin. He just goes into a fixer or something. Our second question comes from a mom. It says, my daughter is a fixer or a rescuer, whichever one you prefer, I guess. Yet she doesn't seem interested in fixing herself. She's going, well over 10-year drug addiction, in and out of bad relationships, blah, 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 blah. So you have a mom here saying, my daughter is seen as a fixer, a rescuer, but yet can't rescue herself.
Yeah. Yeah. So did she ask a question or she's just sort of sharing?
Well, she wants to, why is it that she refuses to look at herself and try to fix herself is ultimately the question in there, I think.
Okay. Well, there's two things, right? So if it sounds like she's active in addiction.
Yep.
That's why. Let's just be clear that we can't get to anything else until we clear up the addiction stuff. And so she can be codependent. She can have and this is that classic conversation that you and I have all the time. Is it mental health or is it addiction? And I'm like, who cares?
Yep.
We can't get to the mental health till we clear the addiction. So let's clear the addiction, or not clear it, but put it under control. And so first things first, with your daughter, you're going to have to set some boundaries with her about her addiction and her use, and just be clear that I love you, but until this shit changes, I'm not doing this with you. I can't, and offer her a solution. I'm happy to help you, and this is what the help looks like. But if you don't want it, then don't call me with all this other drama because I'm not interested. And when you start setting those boundaries with her, she will start responding to it. She may respond to it negatively, but she will respond to it. And hopefully at some point she'll be able to say, okay, all right, fine, I'll take the help. And remember, the help is not, we're going to get you a therapist to work on your codependency and maybe eventually they'll talk about the addiction. The help is we're going to clean up the addiction.
Yeah.
That's the help your daughter needs. Your daughter doesn't need help with her codependency right now. She needs help with her addiction because she's killing herself. So let's get that squared. And once we get that squared, then we can get to the next level and start digging into the behavior stuff as well.
Well, in active addiction, I wanted to look at anything other than myself too. So I mean, I see it all the time, and I have everyone says he's got the biggest heart, or she's got the. I mean, she's helper, she's the one everyone turns to. But it's like, okay, time out. We're here to talk about their drug addiction, alcohol misuse. I mean, they just don't. I'll speak for myself. I just I never wanted to look at my life. I mean, it was in shambles. I would gladly look at other people's and give my 2 cents, but isn't that true in active addiction? We want to look at anything other than ourselves, because for my case, I hated the person I was, so I didn't want to talk about the person I hate. So much the same. I mean, you may recycle some of these questions, but I get to all the questions. It's hard, Kevin. It's hard to sit here and watch my son struggle with substance abuse. People keep saying I enable him, but I can't just sit back and watch my son drown and not do anything to save him.
And I completely and totally understand your dilemma. And here's the thing: you don't have to sit back and watch him drown. What you need to do is set boundaries and offer him a solution. Every time you intervene and solve a problem, give him money, give him a soft place to land, buy him a hotel for a week, et cetera, you're actually enabling his addiction and you're making it worse. What we call that is you're literally killing him slowly and softly. You are participating in the process. As soon as you are willing to say no, and no for this, but I will offer you this, which is a solution, that's when the solution is going to occur. But until then, you're just going to watch him waste away. So that's just the old adage. I was on a call last night with a friend of ours, Nanette Zumwalt, and we were talking to these families from Jaywalker, and the families were like, and she's just like, well, you're killing him. You are loving him to death because you think you're doing the right thing. You are literally killing him on a slow, steady basis. And I know that's hard to hear, and I know that's painful to hear, but it's the God's truth. That's what the guy told my parents. Yep.
It's it's why you have all your workshops and all your work, like trainings, and what you do is what you do. I mean, it's sooner or later, I would like to believe it's here, but I mean, families need to really realize, and I think no statistics, just in my humble opinion, the families that jump aboard on changing, there's always a lot more success within the active addiction in their loved one when the family changes. And I think if we can get that message out there, that if the family wants to change, and they need to change, let's say that, and it's not just about sending Johnny away and getting, change him, and then everything will be back to normal. So my family believed for a while, what truly changed. I mean, I had to do it all on my own, and I have a heck of a fellowship, a heck of a accountability group, and I'm active in recovery. It's not like just magically appeared, but when my family started to change and do things and communicate differently, it's shocking that I'm coming up on 16 years of sobriety. It's not a direct correlation, but my family started talking to me differently. They weren't saying yes to everything. They were running things by other people, and they were drawing some hard boundaries. And when you're stuck in the mud of addiction, like, you're going to have to make some changes. You can't, like, when everyone around you is changing, it's either crap or get off the pot, really. Like, either you change along with them, or it's just going to be a miserable life.
Yeah, or the train's going to leave the station and you're not going to be on it. Yeah.
So.
And that's where it gets real.
I like being on the train, Kevin. I like being on the train.
Me too, baby.
All right. This literally, the first line is, this may make no sense, but it's hard to see where my family's dysfunction starts and how to find solutions. Drug addiction, sexual trauma with my younger sister, divorced parents who don't get along at all, vying back and forth, feeling my husband hates being anywhere near my family, but does it because he knows I want to see my family. We do not drink. We're active in the church, but we have several layers of addiction, trauma, and codependency, many other things. So she's trying to say is, I think it's probably a well-known question is, where do you even start? And I mean, trying to find solutions. Here's someone that's wanting to stay close to the family. Obviously, is her loved one or husband says, like, I don't want anything to do with this, just too much dysfunction. So you have kind of step one of where you even start with.
Yeah, and I mean, just here's the funny thing is I completely get it, and I completely get where they're coming from, but I just want you to understand you just described every family I work with. I mean, I get it. Every family walks in with like, oh my God, this is gonna be a doozy, and I'm like, okay, and I'm like, okay, cool, we can, I know what to do. Let's do it, and because the trauma, intergenerational trauma, addiction, throw a little religious trauma in there, and some and anxiety, and then I want to spend time with my family even though my husband doesn't because he doesn't like whatever that yeah, I get all that. That's I mean that's I am a marriage and family therapist. People don't come to me because my husband doesn't put the toilet seat down and I hate him. It's like, this is the stuff that shows up at my door. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Sit down. Let's start piecing it together and figuring out what the solution is. And yeah, that's the gig. That's the absolute gig. And I get it. So what's the answer? The answer is, call me. Let's figure it out. Let me help you. Let me help you sort this out. Let me help you piece by piece, take each individual item. We'll start probably with you and your husband and talk about, setting some appropriate boundaries, what's going on, and we'll hear what he has to say, hear what you have to say, and then we'll start piecing it together, and we're going to come up with a plan. And then we're going to follow the plan. And the plan is going to be based upon what the two of you have for goals in your relationship. And then we're going to go from there. So, I get it. I get it. Everyone, I mean, and to them it is. It's their honesty. It's their truth. This is ridiculous. I'm like, yeah, I know. I totally get it. I mean, I didn't get into this business because I thought it was going to be easy. But everyone comes with, oh my God, our family. Oh, it's like, sure, cool, great, come on in.
Isn't that the truth, though? I mean, just your responses, and you see it all the time. And you have even I'll start going to AA meetings, but I mean, like, no one has my problems. And then you sit in a chair, and within the first 20 minutes, it's like, I think I'm in the right group because everyone's telling my story, or even talking to Al-Anon or anything, or just going any phone call to you. Is these families think they're unique, and in reality, there's a whole lot of them thinking the same thing. And if they would all join these fellowships and join these support groups, they'll realize they'll erase that uniqueness real quick and realize that it's not like, this may make no sense, and it made sense to Kevin like within the first 2 minutes. So I mean, and that's not poking fun, but it's we have unique problems. There's a good chance that Kevin hasn't heard. I mean, has heard everything. So we get it. We get.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of the reality. This is the world I live in, and this is the stuff I deal with, and and I get it. I mean, that was the family I grew up in, and I mean, so I get it personally, and I get it professionally, and I get it through the eyes of a recovered person as well. So let me help you.
All righty, Kevin. I think you clocked in pretty good. You did a good day's work. So we'll give you the rest of the day off, I guess. So
great.
Any hot topics?
Nah, that's it. That's life's good.
He's just waiting for football season to start. That's all he's doing.
I've been watching Hard Knocks with the New York Giants. Just like, huh? Oh, thank God! I watched quarterback on Netflix. I'm watching receiver. I'm just like,
Are you the guy that watches the old games like on you don't watch?
oh, okay. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yeah. Damn it. Yeah.
Maybe
Only.
this time will be different. Maybe they'll make that.
Oh no, no. I don't watch the losses. I watch the victory.
You're right.
I mean,
I cannot watch the losses of my teams. I'll tell you that for sure. It was
no, that's
heartbreaking the
there's a
first
lot
time.
of them. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean,
All righty, sir. I will. We will see you again next week.
I look forward to it, brother.
All righty. Bye bye.